What is up? What is up, fellow Husker fans? Welcome into our second season of Bootleg Husker Hangover. Doing it out on our own. I don't even know where we're at anymore. We might be part of Hurrdat. We might not be. I am your host, Matt Verzal. He's Cam Broham over there mixing her up on the ones and twos, joining us this morning. Hope you have recovered from Thursday night. Tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of stuff to talk about. Haven't quite put away the steel-toed boots from last year. Snatching defeat from the jaws of victory is always tough. Nebraska went out and played two phases of the game very, very well. Not a lot of question that I have about, just as a general kind of recap of the game. Not something that I have a lot of question about as far as like defense goes. Now, the depth of the defensive line will really be tested this week. We got a ton of stuff to cover. Thanks, buddy. We got a ton of stuff to cover. And we can go in a million different directions, okay? So we're watching on Facebook. We're watching on YouTube. We're watching on X. Wherever you're at, let me know. Send in all your questions. We've got tons of them that we can use. If you dig this shirt, you can go to dearoldnebraskau.com. DEAROLENEBRASKA, the letter U.com. A portion of the proceeds go to the former Husker featured on the shirt. This is my 1995 shirt. On the back, it has their hit sheet and everything that they accomplished in the year. And then a portion will go to the NIL company of our choosing. So that's kind of what we're doing, something fun. There's other shirts on there. There's a Damon Benning shirt. There is a shirt that references an old coach. There's one that references Jay Foreman. Even Guy the Fly Ingalls. Those are my big takeaways to start off the game or to start off the season. Offensively, though, that was pretty inept. I had expectation that progress would be made, and then I felt that we had a quarterback that understood system and what was going on and how we were going to get things accomplished. It just didn't. It didn't come to that. Is it the end of the world for the offense? No. But things have to make great strides week 1 to week 2. With Colorado lurking in the distance. A quarterback at a Power 5 college level shouldn't stare down a receiver like a quarterback in a high school game. A lot more is expected of that. You can't have that happen. That just can't be the way that it goes. Overall, though, okay, and I know penalties happen and mistakes happen, but the situational part of the football, or when they had to get things accomplished, it was not nearly the fire drill that it had been in the past. I know we jumped off sides late in the first half down by the goal line, but normally there would have been players shuffling on and off the field. We were able to get things like we didn't have to make vast changes. Yes, it's unfortunate Piper jumped offside, but there's part of that is as a QB, knowing your run sneak, the longer you let your linemen sit there, the more tensed up they're going to get, the more likely they are to do something like they did. So you've got to get up, get under center, get that snap, and get gone. And that's what he's good at. Like, my highlight of the offense is him running the ball. Sims running the ball. Now, did I think he would be more elusive in the open field and make more plays? Yeah, I did. I thought a couple of those, he was looking for a soft spot to land, and I don't need that. I don't need that at all. Like he was in the open field, and I thought it was a couple spots where there was a one cut move touchdown kind of situation happen, and that didn't happen. I was very disappointed in that. I thought that was a freaking slam dunk. Hey, he's in the open field, make a guy miss, and here comes another 20 yards. And I didn't get that. And partially I blame myself for that. Because when I went and watched, I was like, shit, he can do this. Like he can make a move. Maybe the days I was there, the throwing was easier. I don't know. He looked better throwing it. He at least made a read. Nerves could factor in. Don't care. You've already been to another school. Like that should have been easy. That should have been easy to walk into and not have a problem. GBR 9495 says was feeling pretty good with getting 6 wins this season. Now with 3 interceptions, a critical fumble, questionable play calling, 3 pass attempts to give away the momentum. Not sure if we get to 5 wins. I'm in the 6-6 camp. Okay. What we've done is it's one game, and then we got to see Dion stay in and defeat TCU, who we don't know what TCU is. So now we're full blown depressed panic button. Away we go. Right. I've always said if you can get to 3-3 on the front half of your schedule, the back half allots you to win 3 to 4 games. How you get now to your 3-3 on the front side, you're going to have to make a lot of progress. I think every position up there, senior tackle included, needs to have his job up for bid. Needs to have it. Very disappointed in the line play. I had the expectation in that line, them being older, adding some new parts, getting a guy back off of Royd suspension, that shouldn't have been that. Although not the most talented part of the team, I did not think it would be an issue. And in the issue that I'm seeing with it's things that are easily correctable. Let me know with the volume on that in the comments. I feel like I am screaming into this thing. Okay, to keep it as simple as possible, you'll see me make some hand motions here. I've said time and time again, slow feet don't eat, okay? Slow feet don't eat at any level, at any position, okay? The feet compared to 2022 are better. Are they still at the upper echelon where they need to be? No. Can you work on that now? Yes. Okay. But the thing that got me is when we're trying to get to double teams, we're trying to get a push off of somebody. Movement doesn't necessarily have to happen in chunks of yards. Movement has to be a bump, a 1 yard, a half yard, something relatively small. But your eyes have to see linebacker. And the reason we can't see linebackers is because when we're engaged, we're here. Face is buried in the shoulder pad. We can't see that guy. Credit where credit is due. Minnesota's linebackers were legit. Those dudes flew to the ball, did well. Number 6, I think it was. Don't know names. You know how this goes. I have no idea what the names are. But he made a lot of plays early because Nebraska's lineman couldn't get to this position on the double team where now my vision, my line of sight, I can see him. I can just take 2 steps and bump him because my backs are agile enough to make a cut off of that. Very disappointed in how the offensive line played in that game. Again, a positive for me was the defense. A disappointment right now currently for me in this game as it lies was the offense. Above and beyond, pleased with special teams. And that's bias included. Because Foley came in, he eats at Pisons. He told me, he's like, we're going to be good. He goes, I'm going to be good. Like, my guy's going to be good. I was like, cool. Let's do this. And they were. You know, hand up if you went in at halftime and was like, hey, how's this going to go? Oh, my God, we're making halftime adjustments. Hope they work. And we get the ball first. Please don't fumble. If you have to, just down it in the end zone. What's Ramir Johnson do? Takes the kickoff 65 yards down to the 35-yard line. I'm like, holy shit, here we go. Like, let's do this. Like, we're about to get this done. We're about to go. Trick play, touchdown. Okay, kind of hokey, whatever. Worked for me. Could be out of sequence here. Or that's out of sequence. But anyway. Again, though, can we get Nash Huntmacher off of punt? Like, I don't need the nose guard. We don't have any depth at nose guard. Put a different guy in there. Put somebody else, anybody else. But anyway, big play on the kickoff return. I know I'm out of sequence. Big play on the kickoff return. Stall. Rock fight continues. Minnesota's offense isn't exactly a world beater. But it just like you got to take advantage of that play. Like points got to get put on the board. The points got to, man, they're just. But anyway, those were my highlights and lowlights of it. Coaching wise, there's two camps you can be in. Defensively, impressive. You saw a young man in Hartzog tried to make too big of a play in the moment. He wanted to be the one that sealed the game instead of playing the responsibility. He's in his own coverage. There should be nothing that pulls you inside on that double move that ended up being the game-winning touchdown. Nothing should take him in there. Not a thing. Not a thing in the world. You got to play your coverage. You got to play your responsibility. You have help underneath. You have number 33. I don't know his name. Was drifting out to help you if it was a slant. And then you had a safety behind that. Nothing in the world in that situation should take you inside. You should be waiting for the double move. That's where your interception opportunity occurs. That's where Omar Brown, was able to get one a little bit earlier in the game. He did a really nice job of breaking on the ball. Interception at a crucial time when Minnesota was driving. And that was a huge play by Omar at that point in time. Hopefully Hartzog can evolve into that where we don't need to make that play at that time. Like that, we don't need you jumping that route. There, all your help is underneath. That's the way it goes. That's what happened. In the situation, there's not a lot we can do. There's going to be growing pains in it, and that's what it is. There'll be some that agree with I think it was like 12 minutes to go, maybe 9 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. And you come out, you take a big, deep shot that is open and is thrown poorly and is not completed. And you come back and you throw an RPO, and the ones in the camp of Johnny throw the ball are like, well, the pass got deflected. It would have been caught if it wasn't deflected. Okay, great. You pick up 2-3 yards at best. And then you throw another one incompletion. You got to start to milk the clock at that point in time. You've been able to sustain very nice drives that don't convert, but they milk the clock with your quarterback running the ball. Your quarterback is able to manage. And then you sprinkle in. When you add in your running back now as an extra blocker, works pretty good. And everybody seemed to be on board with it. Time was your ally there, and you needed to get rid of time. You needed to move the time out. You needed them to have to kind of force timeouts, things of that nature along those lines. I didn't agree with the three throws at all. And I know some did. I just don't subscribe to that brand, because in that instance, you needed clock to run. In that instance, you needed time off of it. So now the end becomes closer for your guys. It's like, hey, man, there's a lot of difference in saying, hey, they've got to put this together with their anemic offense in 8 minutes instead of in 10 minutes, 12 minutes, 11 minutes. We took 30 seconds off the clock. I think it was 11 minutes. Like things like that have to help. Some will say it's like overcoaching, but that situational knowledge, you have to get those guys. You string 2 first downs together, now you're 4 minutes gone. And their quarterback wasn't exactly like Johnny Unitas. Like, he wasn't out there flinging it around. So that was kind of disheartening to me. Would have liked to seen that accomplished better. Unfortunate Robinson was ejected for the helmet-to-helmet. Fatigue, I think, played a little bit into that. I don't know why the head got ducked there. That's probably just a two-hand shove in most instances. But you saw some young guys play. Little buddy number 11, felt terrible for him. It was a crucial play late. It's a third down or maybe even a fourth down they're trying to convert. He is literally being held by an offensive tackle, and the tackle's arm is backwards across, and he is holding him this way. And so little buddy reaches out this way just because he's trying to make a play, grabs face mask, and away it went. But you got young guys in the game, and Nebraska is young overall. They're 101 of their 137 are sophomores or younger. So you're going to see those kind of mistakes happen. Like, you're going to see those mistakes during the games and things of that nature. So I really just hope that when the season was started, I had a lot of faith, and I'm like, okay, we're just going to put these steel-toe boots away. We don't need them anymore. We are not going to shoot ourselves in the foot. We've got adults in charge. And the lesson that I learned, or the lesson maybe that I forgot, is old habits die hard. Old habits die very, very hard. Piper down on the goal line, just got to hold your water. You just got to hold your water, and you got to be better than that. You cannot. You got to know the moment as a player. You have to know it. So here's what you got to do. You got a quarterback that's pretty, I'm going to call him wiry. He's going to find a crack or a crevice in there. You got to get this far. You got to get that far. You're going to get that. You trying to anticipate and jump isn't going to help. The freeze out on it, the quarterback's got to get him gone. As soon as that referee blows that thing into play, ball snap, go in the end zone, over. Have to. I was like, no big deal. Back this thing up 5 yards. Throw something quick. Get the field goal team out, tied going into half. Not a problem. Back it up on the penalty. Snap the ball. In the mind of the quarterback at that time, I can tell he was guessing. He was guessing that route was going to be so sick and so well run that corner was going to be open. When if you look at it, they're all flowed to the corner, and 87 is standing by himself in the end zone alone. I mean, it is a throw. You just rocket that ball right in there. Now you're ahead 7-3 going in. You know you've made a bad decision, a bad decision, when one of three defenders is waiting to intercept the ball you just threw. And that's what happened. It was Trayvon Woods was his name. But there's one of three people, Trayvon Jones. There's one of three people sitting, waiting to intercept your pass. Can't happen. Just can't. Got to know. Just got to know. If that's where you want to throw it, and you just glance at that situation, there's a lot of maroon over there. Here's what I'm about to do now. There's a lot of maroon over there. I'm going to see if the guy in the first row can catch this. But you got to get points there. You got to get points for momentum. You got to get points for mentality. It's going to shift that mentality. It's something that your organization needs to have happen. Patrick says, thoughts on Prime Show. We'll get to that one. Walter BD3 says, Fleck is still a douche. Drew. Patrick also says that the offensive line is terrible. They are not terrible. I think terrible is 40, every time we drop back, it's a sack. They were able to accomplish some things. Okay. The offensive line was a reason for that. Are they better than last year? Me personally, I think they're the same as last year. So is there opportunity for advancement in the words of Nick Danzy? Yes. But again, we're still in the mirror. Like we still have to go to the mirror, look and say, what can we get done here? What we're doing or the thought we have is not helping. We've got to change preparation. We've got to change attitude. We've got to change all this. One of the sacks really pissed me off. The one on Corcoran where 17 spun back inside. If you're in pass cover or pass set, like you're in pass protection, one of the greatest things that can ever happen in your life is that you are the free man. Okay. Minnesota at the time was in an odd front, meaning they had the center covered and both tackles covered. So at guard now, I know I am a free runner. Okay. And this little fat guy on this side, that one, he used to do this a lot. You're the free runner in this situation, meaning I'm going to check the center and make sure he's okay to help. Okay. Do you need help? He'll tell you. Got it. Okay. So now you can beat it. So now when 17 is doing his thing, and initially Corcoran is in really good position. He's in a really good spot. He's got his feet where they need to be. His hands are active. The guy kind of gets him a little head fake out. That's okay. I know I've got help inside. I know it's there. And so what this should turn into, as that guy does his little spin move back inside, is Piper, who is much shorter than him, should be waiting. And as that guy comes out of that spin, he should be right here. And then they should hit him. And then the trainer should come out and usher him off of the field because he is out like a light. He done. He's not playing no more. Not even saying in the head, not hitting him in the head. I'm saying his full slab of ribs, you just torpedo into those things. And if you go head first, they're not going to call it, but your shoulder into his rib cage, he'll never spin again. He'll never spin inside again. And what did we do? Piper went to hand help, and then he fell. He got caught up in his own feet, and he just face plants into the ground. And Corcoran looks like the ass. Not defending him because he didn't play like I thought he should play. He didn't play like he was the leader of the group. Okay? He did not do that. He was in position. He rolled the defender to his help, and his help failed him. So now when your help fails you in passing situations, now you don't know what to do. You're like, well, now I can't let him beat him. He can't beat me outside. He can't beat me inside. So I got to be perfect on every roll here, or I'm in trouble. Because my help, who's free runner, should knock this guy out of the game, is not there. So now I got to do all this perfect. Can't happen. Athletically, it can't happen. And Ethan Piper's an athletic kid. Can't be the reason. Walter says Turner sees Pro Football Focus passing, blocking grade on Thursday was 0.0. The evaluation from Pro Football Focus, I don't always buy into those. They've yet to tell you your qualifications and how they're getting to those. It is what it is. Like to know who you guys were highlighted about. I know some of those. Ooh, Walter dropping stats. Since 2004, Nebraska's combined turnover margin was minus 102. Let's see. Not good. Jamie says, Overs disagree on that. RPO might have scored. That dude was wide open. A lot has to go into that. You're under the assumption that had it not been tipped, the ball was still going to be caught. And the ball was still going to be not behind him, which led to the tip of it. From the angle that I saw of it, that throw is behind. That throw needs to be out where it could not have been tipped. But yeah, I'm not in that situation. That's what I like. That's what I like about it, is that there's different philosophies. My philosophy will never be that. My philosophy will be, I got to get time off the clock. Understand wanting the shot over the top. I actually loved. And even I think it was Mills. Mills is pointing to the sideline. If he'd have just thrown it out here, I would have caught that. I would be in the end zone, but he couldn't get it to me. Like he knows. That play call, perfect. After that, I got to get time off the clock. Like I have to. I have a team that doesn't know how to win. I have an organization that when they take the field, no matter what I've told them, they've forgotten how to win. They've forgotten how to close. That's why there's no coffee in the building. It's for closers. I got to get time off the clock, because I think the more that they were able to run and feel confident, kids aren't stupid. They know right now to throw it is a liability. They 100% know. I don't think that ball was going to be in the right spot. And I may have missed it. We had nobody running wide open enough to score anything. We're diving for balls. we're diving for balls that should be caught in stride. Zero part of that allows me to think that ball would hit anybody in stride. So for me, if I'm playing percentages, why I take the chance? 7, you ain't got it today throwing the rock. Much like the 7s of the past. None of them fantastic throwers. You're good at running, though. And if you're good at running and you run me a couple first downs, I'll give you a shot to throw it again. To me, though, I got to get rid of clock there. I got to get rid of clock. Yeah. But you like, it's a weird experiment, and been through it like we've talked on here before at a very, very lesser, very minimal level. Okay. I've been through it at Malcolm. Little things that would get in the way of us winning a game that were foreign to spoiled brats like the Terwilliger brothers and myself, because we came from winning programs. We came from winning organizations. We took that for granted. We had to instill that in. This is what you do to finish. This is what you do in this situation. And you have to rep that. Like, you have to make everything a competition. Like legit, everything in that has to go toward just not shooting yourself in the foot. Seems crazy, I know. But the defeatist mentality is easy to acquire. Look at all of us, okay? If you went to the game, hop in the comments and let me know. And Jamie, by the way, I agree. You score there. That's 2 T's, 11 minutes. I'm 100%. That's why we're talking about this. Your brain changes. Everything we're doing is working. Everything we're doing is good. We got this, right? And now you're hype. You may get another one. And you know what? Just pile on. Just score as many. Walter hates Fleck. Thinks he's a douche. You're going to hate people that build things that you want to build, but that's a different thing. But you got to rewire the brain. Like, we have to rewire our brains. We're frozen up on the thing. You got to rewire your own brain. Because if you went to the tailgates and you went out there, how many people were sitting there like, shit, what are we going to do today? What are we going to do today to lose this game? Right? We feel that way. I went in, dumbass, leading with my chin. Like they're going to have all this cleaned up. This camp, this summer, got time to get it all cleaned up. Here we go. And then mistakes happen. I was like, no big deal. Just one mistake. We're good. Keep playing defense. Defense go on doing their thing. Another mistake shouldn't happen. Not a problem. Still here. Still here. Everything's good. Another mistake happened. For fuck's sake, are you kidding me? Are we really doing this? Like, is this how it's going to go? Then again, the next one out. Jesus Christ on a crutch. Like, it's, what are we doing here? Why is this happening again? Those habits die hard. Those habits die very hard. But it is what it is. All is not lost. Oh, crap. You have another season. You have another week to get ready. We got to respond to Jill. Hey, Jill, it's dear. Jesus. I should not be on the comment section of this.
I jumped in there and did that already. So you
fix it?
Yeah.
Oh, you fixed mine?
I replied directly to her on the Facebook comment. But yeah, dearoldnebrascau.com.
Remove a couple of those.
We'll get it more out there, more promotion for it, you
know? Man, they're just as bad as it went. Now, the part that'll piss a lot of us off, as it should, is it had to be Fleck, right? You have to start with Fleck. Lost a bunch of guys, went through a mild controversy. You know he's pretty entrenched in there. Went in the World Today, and they went at him with, he's making us get up early to work out, and he's making us eat together, and how dare he do that, and blah, blah, blah. And people are like, what are you talking about? This is what you're supposed to do. This is the way it goes. He survives that without a hitch. He knows what he is. He knows he's got a very good defensive front. Okay? Sorry, I feel like I got a bug hanging out of my nose. That's why I keep itching my nose. Or I have I'm not going to say that. A buddy of mine used to have a phrase. I don't even know if I can say that anymore, so I'm not going to say it. He knows what he's got, and he played to the strength of that. And I know he wanted to run it more than he did, but he didn't run it well until everything mattered. The little zone off of the right side of the line to get them in the middle, or get them the yardage needed to make that field goal an easy breezy moot point to win the game. Took advantage of what Nebraska gave them, right? I would have loved to have seen us be a little more aggressive in coverage late in the game. You have 3 safeties in the game. You really, to get beat over the top, meaning somebody run past you, probably isn't going to happen. Thought we played a little bit far off in that game. Could have rolled up some and helped out quite a bit, but they just dinked it. They dunked it, and they said, here, you're going to give us this. We're going to take it. We're going to take it. We're going to take it because we trust our kicker to make this from whatever position we put him. We're going to do everything we can to get him in the best position, but we trust him. Thanks for the 7 yards. Thanks for the 6 yards. Thanks for the 5 yards. Run it, walk out, kick it, win the game. It will piss us off because we don't like him. And we don't want to respect him. But people that played, and that's a douchey statement. I apologize for that. People that know what he's accomplished there, and it's Minnesota. Are they going to compete for CFP? No. But are they going to win 9? Probably. Would we trade and win 9? Absolutely. We would, 100%. It's almost that anybody but him. For what he's done, and for it, and he said in the interview, Our word of whatever was poise. They played a poised game. They never panicked. The safety late in the game when they scored their 2 scores within, I think, 2 minutes of each other. Correct me in the comments. That safety baited Sims into the second throw. They were able to hit the first one. The safety almost kind of like, okay, you can have that one at around midfield or around short of midfield. But if you throw it again, I'm going to pick it. And he did. He was breaking on the ball before Sims was ready to release it. He knew what he was doing. He knew that Sims was going to stare the guy down. He knew that he was going to be sitting there waiting for it. He's going to give them a chance to dink and dunk it down the field and win the game. Fred's got a great question here. Do the coaches need to tailor the offense to Sims not being able to go through enough progressions, like throw it here or run? I think that's what they're doing. The interception before half, guy standing wide open. Now, that's okay if you do that with quick passing game, right? Hey, this is going to be open in the flat. Chuck it. This is going to be open on a 5-yard out. Basically, do unto others, right? Do what Minnesota did to us. Hey, take that 5-yard out. If you watch many, they'd give you one, and then they'd roll coverage up tighter. Be like, you're not throwing that again. So now you got to go to something different. There's some clever design plays where you can clear things out and then just set a receiver down in the hole area, which is right behind the linebackers, or just hole adjacent, meaning like hole toward the flat area. Short, quick throw, bam. The lineman can help him out a lot. This is just kind of how I view it. The minute somebody jumps, you go right at that sumbitch's hip. Those that are Scut folks, I don't know if we have any on here. We had a kid named Alex Stump, and word spread fast. Do not jump if that kid is in the game. Because Alex legally would go at your hip and then kind of usher you to the ground. Great kid, huge brain. I think he's an engineer now. Way too smart to play football, but played. They got to help out. They got to attack in a short, quick passing game. Like, they got to get after it. That will help a ton. That will help him out. But yes, you tailor that offense for his strengths and build him maybe some confidence. Like, hey, it may not be the prettiest lane you've ever seen to run, but you're going to have a lane. Okay. We're going to get you to a lane, and then you take off and make some moves. If you have to, we try. Purdy can run the same stuff. I don't know who the number 2 is. Harburg can run the same stuff. I was 1-2 that came up for me. They went to the well, little clever, put Harburg in at the slot, slide him across the formation, chuck him the ball, first down. Cool. Tried to come back to the well later. Don't do that. Don't. They don't fall for it twice. Okay. If you have a complement to that, where you're going to run Harburg across, and then the whole defense is going to fly over there, and you've got a tight end or a back on the opposite side of the formation, you run and you pump fake that, and then you throw a screen back the other way, I'm in for that. Don't try to hit the same one twice in the same situation. Run the complement to it. But this is how you build, right? And this is how now you know what Jeff Sims can do. He can run the ball. You can take a deep shot every now and then because you don't really have anybody that can run past anybody except in one instance in that game. And if there's more cut-ups of guys being wide open, cool. Send them to me. Let me know. I'd love to see them. You got to find a way to get Kemp available in the game. Almost a la Wes Welker. If you want to run some mesh concepts, okay? You put 2 guys just outside of the lineman or closest to the tight end if you have a tight end in, and then they just run across the field and mesh. Right? Kemp will be great at those. because he is short, he is quick, and get him the ball in space and let him do his work. Okay? Let him do what he's got to do in the game. But let that all happen. Like, let that go down. That's what has to. That's how you can tailor it to fit his strengths. It is not going to be a deep down the ball. Oh, whoops! I gotta stop touching buttons. It is not something you can do on a consistent basis. He's not a quarterback that's going to throw an 18, 20-yard corner route outside, drop it in the bucket right now. Maybe he was nervous. Maybe he didn't get it. That's fine. He's a kid-ish, older. He's not going to send you on that skinny post route to the end zone. He's not. But that's okay, because what he can get you is positive yards rushing. What he can get you then is RPO that Jamie thinks is open. I'm not in that same camp. Or is going to be thrown on timer to the right spot. He can get you that. It's not going to be, boom, over the top, we throw one. But it can be controlled. And with the depth on the defensive line, I think that helps a ton. I think that wears a team down. And I think then you're able to keep your defense off of the field, because your defensive line depth isn't that, it is not very vast. You don't have a ton of defensive linemen. You are not built that way currently. Middle of the year, you may have some more defensive line depth. End of the year, you could have a lot of defensive line depth with some of the younger guys that have plays. Sucks to lose. Losing, terrible. Hate losing more than anything in the world. Really, really do. Pisses me off to no end. Okay? Minnesota did not necessarily win that game as much as you lost that game. And that should make you irate. I know it makes staff irate. I don't know what players it makes irate. This is an interesting comment by Mike here, and Mike, Mike, this is good, and somebody, beloved news media that kneels to the throne, that is listening, ask this question. Okay? Nothing against 23. Nothing against him at all. But pressers, news conference, all of it, all we heard at the time, the reason he is where he is on our depth chart is because he fumbles the ball in practice. Okay? We will put him in a different spot when he is not fumbling the ball. Okay? If that is the scenario, and that's my mindset at that time, then now I got to question that rotation. Props to Mike on this. This is good. I'm listening to what the coaches are saying. I try to, anytime you see those interviews, try to go and find like the whole question. Like, try to find all of it. Try to find every bit of that question, and not the bits and pieces or the response that you hear. By the way, too, Nebraska, I know you're listening. Turn up the frickin' volume when the guy's asking the question, so we know if it's a good question, we know it's a dumb question. Because then I can just skip the dumb questions and I can listen to the good ones. But what we've been told is he has a problem holding on to the ball. And you saw it. Technically, 5 points of pressure, right? You got 5 points of pressure. We're going to press. You can list whatever 5 you are. I can tell that had not been repped enough, because when he went to make his cut, which is going to be a good cut. It really was. He was going to get a couple more yards. When he made that cut, he lost 3 of the points. You go back and watch all the good ones. These aren't also rans. This is Amon Green. This is LP. This is CC. This is DB. Here, when the cut happens, the ball doesn't leave here. It's not repped. Because when he cut, it came out here. And that's an exaggeration. It was about right here. And then little buddy came over the top, swiped down, ball goes out. I just need somebody to ask that question. Because if that's the issue, why is he in at that time? Thought the kid played hard, thought he ran the ball well. But if you're concerned why he's not your one is him fumbling, then that all lines up. Not saying the game was won or lost on that. There were many other things that could have determined that game. Okay? Many things. That could have changed that game. All cards on the table. I was pretty hyped for my guy Liebentritt. And he's got to be better. If you want to be a fullback, if you really want them to respect that fullback position, use that fullback position, when they send you through the A-gap, that A-gap better open. Both mini linebackers met him and feet stopped him. So he'll get it fixed. He will. But, man, I was really hoping for a knockout shot there because I was going to start talking real crazy at that time. But he's got to fix that. Great questions coming in the comments. Keep them coming. Mike says, does Harburg get more time with receivers to fill out that unit? I'm fine with that. And an athletic kid, you probably need to get him on the field. Don't know his top end speed anymore. He's put on a lot of weight. He's put on probably 20 pounds. I used to be worried that the wind would blow him away. He ain't getting blown away anymore. I think Nebraska would benefit from just a good H-back. A guy that you can move in motion. I hate this lady in the parking lot right now. She bikes around here and bitches about shit. Like she's the parking lot police. Man, every freaking Sunday, I forgot that part of this. It pisses me off. She's such a bunch of crap like on my stoop.
Don't you go out there?
I tried to flatten her tires.
Tough with her?
Tried to flatten her tires before I missed. God.
Get the darts out.
Yeah, bikers. You ever dealt with like a big crew of people on bicycles?
Yeah. I'm from Iowa originally.
They feel like they're a Harley gang.
That Ragbri stuff.
They feel like they're a Harley gang.
It's bananas.
Like, listen, man, calm down.
Yeah.
You're out exercising on purpose. It's 105 degrees. You're riding your bike. But anyway, Harburg as an H-back, okay? Harburg, I like that. I actually like that package, that feature to have him in there because I think he's one of your better athletes. So use him. If you're not going to put him at quarterback, use him. I think he knows. I think he knows the offense and is a value. Now, does that like maybe deter him being a quarterback in a while? Maybe. Seemed to work out all right for Ryan Tannehill, who played receiver and tight end and all that crap at A&M. But he's an asset. Use him. If you think he's going to benefit you, put him in the game. It's the way it has to go. To me, I think that is a definite advantage. So I like that, Mike. Thinking outside the box. Dan says the tight end had one combined target in the game. That needs to change. Man, that's another one. Okay. Again, still on board with staff. I'm not a knee-jerk guy. I'm an evaluate at the end of the season guy. When you're telling me he's NFL talent, and I say it wrong. I say Fedoni. I think it's Fedone, whatever. The tight end. He's got to start to tote the mail. He's got to be the asset. He's got to be the quick out guy that Sims could just dump it. He's got to be the pop pass when they send both linebackers. Okay? You're in shotgun, so you have a 5-yard advantage. They are double linebacker blitzing you. All that tight end has to do is run into the middle, turn around, and go like this. You go where they vacate. Simple. Easy. Beautiful. Non-existent. Eventually, the rubber has to meet the road for that young man. And the staff either has to accentuate him and get him things to, what up, Carson? Get him things to be better, or get him things to display his talent, or we need to stop hearing about it. We've been told all these things. Let's use them. Let's see. Let us use our own set of eyeballs and watch this cat. God, good one, Dan. Dan, I think I had blocked that out, which is kind of what happens sometimes in these games. It's great about you guys is you just keep sending me stuff that I forget in my dumb brain, and then I can kind of get that. Yeah, he would have been valuable. And all that talk, he may move out to receiver. Well, we didn't throw it to him at tight end, so I don't know what we're going to throw it to him at receiver. Let's just incorporate him. And if he wants to be that elite level tight end, plenty of film. Plenty of film on George Kittle. Plenty of film on Gronk. If you don't feel you understand the concept or you're being taught what needs to happen, go ahead and watch that. Mac Mills in the building. Go ahead and watch that. Like, watch that go down. Watch and learn. Maybe you're a visual learner. Maybe you could say, holy crap, look at what Kittle did there. And I know he's an Iowa guy. I don't care. He's an ass kicker. It is real good. Brett says everything you are saying on the game plan, any coach would design for that QB that completes 50% of his passes. The question is, why didn't they execute that when they had all summer to implement it? Okay. If we hit the rewind button just a little bit, and for about 30 seconds here, I'm going to drop the headset because I have to go turn on these ovens, not initially, so don't drop off. It doesn't take that long. They just need about 2.5 hours to warm up. When the situation was inherited by the previous regime, I said, I don't think this is the right fit because he really, truly doesn't understand what he is inheriting, which was a debacle from Riley. Players legit thought they were running the show. Legit. So now the old regime has to come in and break that down, rediscipline it, and go from there. When Rule and crew got in, it was better than they inherited it from a discipline standard. That should tell you how far we had fallen. Okay? But I don't think the time they had to put into get your ass to meeting on time. Get your ass to class on time. No, you do not get to miss this. That little shit adds up and it becomes annoying. And it becomes things that coaches don't want to do. Can I get banned by cussing? Okay, great. That then, okay, now you're working on that. And it's still a work in progress. Because we are very chatty in this state. Like we get a lot of information from people on the inside that we don't necessarily always tie in with. But you are 100% correct, Brent, in your thinking that should have been handled. That should have been the way it goes. The devil of practice is that you also don't know what you're facing defensively. Okay? And any coach out there, raise your hand. you've gone to practice and you've run a play, and this play, like, unstoppable. We are going to run this for eternity, and it is going to get probably 1 million yards, and we are going to score 4 billion points on this play. It is that good. And you get into the game, and you got an opponent that doesn't want you to run that play, and it sucks. It is a terrible play. It does not work. You're like, well, we just wasted a lot of time patting ourselves on the back with how great that play was. I think they went through a lot of that. I agree. I agree that now with a live evaluation against an opponent, you're going to see a different game plan. You're going to see a game plan that accentuates short, quick hitter. You have to understand them when now Colorado rolls up on defense because they've got 2 corners that can play defense. When they roll up, you have to alter your plan. So what's plan B on that? That's that, though. Brent, 100%, we should expect that to be better than it was. Libby says, what are your thoughts on the fullback position? It's got to get better. It has to be better. You know, we were all jacked up about it. It got met in the hole. It got shoved back. I know there's nagging shoulder injuries. Still team Liebentritt, still team other guy that's at fullback. That needs reps. I can tell that didn't have enough reps. And don't rep it against your current linebacker. Rep it against like a current D lineman. Like put that D lineman, younger D lineman at that linebacker spot and say, okay, buddy, this hole is going to open like this. You run through that, and we're going to send somebody to block you. You thwart him. You stop him. That's what's going to happen. That's what has to happen for it to be good. But I'm excited. I'm excited they have it. I'm excited that they are. All right, give me 30 seconds. I got to turn on 2 ovens. Don't go away. All right, we can actually operate. See, I'm rusty. I'm out. I didn't practice that. I usually, when I get here in the morning right away, seeing Cam, the man, I go turn those on. I did not do that. Unfortunately, the only dumbass I can blame is myself, which I think is an interesting thing that Nebraska probably has to do. These questions or these answers are only for the guy in the mirror, okay? The offensive line getting a lot of comment on offensive line, and I get it. They have to look in the mirror and say it's unacceptable what we did. Now, if I'm Donovan Raiola, I'm not so sure that I don't play Evans Jenkins. I would start Evans Jenkins at guard. And I'll tell you what, I got super pissed off and disappointed in a good buddy of mine. Because we're talking about it, and I was like, listen, man, I've had more than one person, more than one former player, more than one guy that said, hey, this Evans Jenkins cat is legit. Like, feet are good, da-da-da-da. This MFer had the nads to say, yeah, but he's 5'11". Okay. Aaron Taylor's 4'8". And won an Outland Trophy. Like, get over the height thing. Because you've got height. You've got height. And you ain't driving nobody off the ball. Great. Put your best player out there. I'm not so sure 51 isn't your best player. I'm a big fan. And there were times when he was in the game and it operated better. It really did. I would see that move getting made to kind of get that offensive line cranked up. Benhart, I didn't think played amazing, but he didn't play bad. It was a good progress game for him coming from last year where we were all like, this kid can't even hinge at his hips. What the hell are we doing? How does this work? trimmed up his body. He's lean and mean. Was it Lane Johnson? No. Was it Zach Wiegert? No. But was it a better form of Bryce Benhart than we've seen since ever? Yeah, it was. And now he can build. But again, that group needs a leader. They need an ass chewer on the field. They need somebody to hold everybody accountable. Says this is not acceptable. This does not work. We are not getting things done correctly. If you find that guy, then yeah, you're going to be okay. Brian says, sorry, this will be a little bit long, but to all the folks throwing the towel in the season, the coach rule, I say relax. Game 1 is not time to panic. I guess I didn't get to the it's time to panic memo. You can't panic. Geez, that's a lot of panics. You can't panic when you realize this was game 1 of the process. See, you could have shortened this up a bunch, but Dalek, we went to the same high school, and we ain't writing a 1,000-word essay here. You got panicked 3 times in the first 4 sentences. People are too unrealistic in their expectation. Those say, look at Colorado. Please realize they were 1 game in as well. I predicted Minnesota to beat us based on where we were 2 programs, even though there are more. Even though, okay, I didn't get the rest of it. There's no panic button. It's, well, we got to watch where that thing freezes up at, because there are some, that was a bad angle that last one just did. Okay. So we'll move on. We'll bounce around now. We'll go back and forth. Keep questions coming. Keep anything you want to talk about. We're all in therapy right now. Everybody watching yesterday should have clicked a brick when we watched Colorado. Because whether we want to admit it or not, we watched and we're like, yeah, here we go, Dion. You're going to play the number 2 team in the country, and you're about to get your shit kicked. And old Dion said, nope, we ain't doing that. No, sir. Now, was TCU perfect in that? No, not even remotely. Did they kind of, in essence, get in a pissing match with Dion? Yes. They wanted to show that they could throw it against the 2 best corners that whatever conference they're in now have ever seen. They really wanted to. And that was dumb. It was like, I'm watching it and I'm just like, hey, buddy, run the ball. Just run it. Old school TO, punch in the face, run. Okay, we had to punt. Run. Oh, you're getting a little tired. Run. I mean, do it. Like, get it going. But they didn't. And I didn't understand that. I'm guessing TCU probably doesn't understand it this morning. But yes, that is the game plan. We don't want to like Dion because he's loud and he's brash and he's this and he's that. Okay? But you better put some respect on Dion's name, because he can acquire talent. And that talent may not be the epitome right now. Or sorry, their physique might not be the epitome right now. Like, they're young, like us. They're very young. But a couple years, them dudes, a couple years in the weight room, he's going to be a problem. Because if you think this is the only year he's going to acquire talent, you're wrong. He's going to get a lot of talent in there. Because the kids are going to see, hey, we go in there and we do this. This is what can happen. He instills discipline in a methodology that we are not used to. Okay? The hard conversation, what we think is mean, is easy to him. He will tell you straight to your face, right now you are not good enough to play. Here is what you have to fix. Because somehow we've evolved in this mindset that you can't be hard on kids. You can't be mean to them. You can't say mean words. And you can't. He does. And they respond. Because he goes and finds ultra competitive people. if you remember, people got all pissed off at him because he said, I don't want a lineman that has two parents. People got pissed. Two-parent home is not normal anymore in the areas that he knows. I want a single-parent family because that guy understands how to protect. Seems silly, seems irrelevant, very true. I know the blindside guy is suing the Tui family. I know that they did not give that kid a psychological evaluation in high school and say, hey, whatever that guy's name was, Sandra Bullock, Rocket, by the way, was giving him the once-over. That was exaggerated, but that is true. You get a protective person that does not want somebody he cares about to get hurt, they'll be great. Now, game plan for this, and we're all in it. Everybody's talking. Run the ball. Now, when you run the ball in this, it will sound silly when I say it. Okay? The footwork and the steps and everything for the offensive lineman. Ideally, you're no step over 6 inches. Some of you will lie what 6 inches is, but 6 inches is 6 inches. Those steps now need to go down to about 2 to 4 inches, which is what some of you are more accustomed to. But you got to keep your steps short and fast because they are quicker than you. Okay? They are much faster than you. That's okay. You can beat faster teams because fast teams running around everywhere will get tired. And now you're not quite as fast as you used to be. We've been taking these little short, dinky steps the whole time, and we can do it. This should be a downhill game. To answer Libby's question, when you want to, you can establish a downhill running game with a fullback in a game like Colorado. You can send a Corey Schlesinger message that was sent to Miami, if you will, on the opening kickoff when he knocked old buddy out cold. Guy didn't know if it was Sunday, Monday, or Tuesday. He's out. The lights were on. No one was home. If you want to send a message early in that game, downhill, fullback, smack, run that guy over, hopefully, and go from there. Now you're sending a message. You may be immensely talented. We are about to be the most physical team on the field. We are going to punch you in the face. You may win. You may win. But you're going to know pain. You're going to know hurt. We're going to see how long you want to stay around. We're going to see how long you want to stay around and do this. My guy Goose, one of the nastiest sidearm hurlers from back in the day in Grand Island, says, do you think the O-line will put us in a better place when Teddy gets back to playing? I do. Yes and no, because I think Teddy's to the point that he's got to start to get some return on how his career is going to end up. It sucks that he got hurt. He's got to be back healthy, and he's just got to be the ass kicker that they had when he was a freshman. And it's still in him. And Campbell, I think, has done a good job of reshaping some of those bodies. Some of them are still a work in progress. You're not going to see a big bunch of reshaping during the season, but you can see some things that do change and look different. I think it allows some flexibility where you take Corcoran then, like they did with Stirrup back in the day. and I was 100% wrong on this. I questioned it every bit of the move, but they moved Stirrup down to guard and did great. He's played in the league, played for the Ravens. But now you take Corcoran and you can move Corcoran down to guard, where he's just a little bit more. It's a little more pinball action. There's more people he can bump into. He's not quite in such a wide of space to do those things. So, yeah, I do think that you have some more flexibility with your offensive line when Teddy does get back. Now, they tried the rush back thing, didn't work. The training staff has to take their time and make sure that he is available, like he is 100% passed all tests and can really do what he's supposed to do in that day. But yes, anytime you bring in or bring back a big monster like that, I think you're good. I really think that you're going to be in good shape. We're going to send Jay Foreman a link here, which I don't have in my email. We're going to see if we can get old Foreman on the show. You still have his email? Well, that I'm on the show. I don't need the link. It's a good observation here by Mike. He said thoughts on running the ball with the swing tackle. Seemed to work every time it did. Mike, I'm guessing when they played tackle over, the tackle from the left side, moved him to the right side. If I'm a tight end, I take that personally because you should have been able to do that if I'm the tight end blocking. And if I can't at the tight end, they bring a tackle over, then I just don't know. I'm fine with it. Listen, I'm fine with whatever play runs successfully. And if that's the play, cool. If that's what you got to run to get it done, do it. 100%. And then maybe you got a nice compliment or two off of it. And you can do something that's unexpected. But every play you run, you want to build something off of it. It's got to have another reason. Patrick with a good observation here says, CU game one, everything corrected. NU game one, same S, different day / staff. It's the mindset. It is the mindset. Probably the one difference in that is the talent level. Deanna had a lot of guys portal in, a lot of talented guys portal in. We kept a lot of guys we have, try to rebuild them. Could be something that adds on to that. Stephen Dunning says breakfast pizza. All right. At some point in time, and maybe on the Husker Hangover Twitter page, do you have access to that, or is that just me?
I do. I just got to get the two-factor authentication going. But yeah, great. I can get in there.
We'll put up a poll on the best Sunday to do breakfast pizza. And I'll just not go home the night before for you guys because I love you. And I'll make a bunch of pictures of Bloody Marys. That's the thing. If we do this, then I have to go make the beers and the drinks. That's fine. Maybe we'll get a lavalier mic for that day. But you guys will put up a poll. We'll pick a game, and then we'll do one of these live here down at Paisans. And we will have, and my voice is out of shape because thank God we didn't have a game week one in high school because I was hoarse as shit. I could barely form a sentence. And now, yelling at the TV on Thursday. I yelled at the game on Friday. I yelled at I yelled at myself all day Saturday. Gotta get the voice box working better. But yeah, we can do that. We're going to have to get a rough head count on how many are coming. As we keep on. There you go. Mike got my joke. If we get the... Mike's kind of on it today. Big Red's in there. Paul Koch. Paul is a guy from back in the day, back in Nebraska. Just logged in my opinion. Throwaway three and out offensive series at 12-minute mark in the fourth quarter was the difference maker. We were so close to the win. Optimistic for the future, though. Here's where we all kind of have to get to, okay? We're all scared a little bit, rightfully so. You know, Dion did his thing, and it went well for Dion, and blah, 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 blah. How they manage now expectation will be the next thing. The thing with people that have been told that they're great, now, the one that scares me is Travis Hunter. And I think it's Mike that mentioned it down here. Maybe. Somebody mentioned it, said he's the real deal. He is. He's a dude. Had an interception on a ball that if you talk to like 90% of football teams, when they run that back out of the backfield on a little arrow, some call it an arrow, you just kind of right out into the flats. They are 100% counting on that as a completion. They're like, this is indefensible. Nobody is going to stop this. We are in perfect shape. I think that's the one Hunter intercepted. Like he broke on that thing, dove, intercepted. Again, though, why is TCU throwing the ball there? Run it at him. Just run it at him. And you'll be fine. You will be more than fine. Mike sends in his best offensive line possible: Teddy, Turner, Scott, Piper, Benhart. Currently, mine would be, I'm fine with that, Teddy, Turner, Scott. I would probably stay with Noelle. And I would tell Noelle, you make one mistake and Evans Jenkins is coming in. And then Benhart. But that there frees you up for some rotation. You can really rotate guards through. And you can do a lot of nice stuff there. Robbie, believe it or not, Rob asked, did you see any improvement in the offensive line? I did see some. Not nearly enough what I thought it would be. I thought they would make great strides and the double teams and things would look clean and crisp. And then when they had to get off on a linebacker, that would be smooth. There's a little bit of panic when they didn't get the initial push that they thought they were going to get, and that's okay. You're not going to be able to bully everybody. Sometimes a half a yard is more than enough movement to get that handled. We just got to get a bump on him, and then we can, hey, I got guys that can move people, and I got guys that can shield people. And guess what? Both are effective. If I take a basketball concept and I know the concept of my play and I play ball, you, meaning me, man, I'm good. You're going to have to now run through me to get the tackle. That's a win. And while the guy that understands leverage and he's got great feet and he's got great hands, he's got great explosion, he's driving somebody, that's awesome. Guess what, though? Now we've made a crease. And if I have a running back that's patient and good at reading, they go 1, 2, 3, and on that third step, they just cut back because my ass kicker's over here with 3 yards of movement, and I'm just on a shield. We're good. Real good. You're not, even the greats Will Shield lost reps in games, but he was always in the way. Zach Weger lost reps, but was in the way. And I'm saying the loss isn't driving the guy 5 yards, 4 yards. That was viewed as a loss. That's okay. You're still in the way. They have to go through you to make the tackle. And if they as soon as they reach an arm out, you just lever the opposite way, meaning you pull and you push, they're off balance. That was like a karate move there. Never saw it like that. Then they're off balance. Now you just drop them. May just be 1 yard. Like those are little things. The footwork from year to year is better. It still has a way to go. Like it still has distance. Can it get better? Yeah. But it's the drill work has to happen almost to a psychotic level where those inch steps are really scrutinized and done over. Like if you do it wrong, you go again. If you do it wrong again, you go again. You're going to be here till you do it 100% right. That's kind of what it looked at. Our guy Red says having a physical fall camp definitely showed up with solid tackling, especially in the season opener. It was a highlight. They did a nice job. We didn't see nearly as many broken tackles, which sounds defeatist, I know. We saw a lot of solid tackling. You better stay fundamentally sound this week because the talent level is going to take a jump. Okay? A big jump. Dude's quick. Dude's fast. Them dudes eliminated, and them dudes are Colorado. They eliminated angle on like swing passes and took them to the house. They're quick. There's a reason they have the billing that they have. There were some back foot throws. You're correct. You guys are great. You're on it today on the comments. This is why Nebraska fan is awesome. By the way, this stuff, we are not sponsored by them, is awesome. Amino Energy. Did some blood work over the summer. Doctor goes, caffeine doesn't really bother you, does it? Like, no, not really. She's like, do you drink a lot of it? I was like, well, I drank 12 Monsters in one day. And she goes, did you get like now she's intrigued. So you get like a buzz? I was like, no. She goes, yeah. She goes, your blood's not affected by caffeine. I was like, sweet. I was like, that's pretty awesome.
Nice.
So I got that going for me. So I just drink these for the taste. But anyway, highly recommended. If you're with Amino Energy, you can sponsor the show. Game plan for this week. Defense is going to have to. Now, this isn't 2001 Miami at Colorado. They have a quarterback that understands the system because he's run it at two schools now, so he's got full grasp of it. Our quarterback is in the first year of it and stares down receivers. He gets it. He has an immense amount of speed that he can use to do that and distribute it. Nebraska defensively has to make sure that they are sound fundamentally and understand almost a bracket to usher guys out of bounds if the ball is completed. I think Sanders threw it 48 times. He was 37 of 48 for 510. So that's a pretty good day. But ain't a lot of running going on in that. You got 5 DBs. Gifford probably needs to play some catch because he had an opportunity to seal that Minnesota game with an interception and dropped it. You can't drop those now in this instance. You have to make sure that you are sound in coverage. And if the ball hits your hands, you have to catch it. You have to make sure that if they make the mistake, you gladly accept the gift. Okay? But knowing where boundaries are and knowing angles is going to be huge. The hardest thing Nebraska is going to have in prep this week is to adjust to the speed that Colorado has because they can't replicate that speed in practice. Patrick, I do believe TCU runs a version of the 3-3-5. So now all of that has to be like, you're going to give up a big play in this game. Just eliminate it from your brain. Now you're going to give one up. Okay, it's going to happen. It's going to go down. But the more you can do to make them have to dink and dunk to beat you and see how patient they want to be and see if they can get you out in the flat, get you in space one-on-one, try to want to eliminate as many one-on-one battles as possible in the tackling scenario. So that's the chess match. Can you get us to one-on-one with your crazy fast guy, or can we scheme it where we have two guys kind of going? And the numbers are never going to match up. There's going to be guys that have multiple responsibilities that have to fly around. So their knowledge of where they need to be at all times against all sets or formations has to be on lock. Like, they've got to be ready for all of that. And if you can create a box or a scenario where the offensive coordinator who was from Kent State and he wants to go fast and he wants to chuck it around, if you make a box, meaning from tackle to tackle, look light enough where he's like, man, we should just run it here, I think that's a win, because I think you can win the battles up front with their offensive linemen. Right tackle, ginormously tall, but hasn't developed yet. Like, got my guys in there playing because he has to. But little buddy had his little tight shirt on underneath his pads, and it was loose. So he just hasn't matured, hasn't had the full season later. Will he look different next year? Yep. Problem. He'll be a problem next year, but take advantage of it now. So you make the box look light. Make it look like there's only 4 or 5 guys in there. Nebraska's committed to coverage. Then at the snap, come a Helen. You're almost trying to play games with Sanders to make sure he can't get a clean read on that box. And that's what the 3-3-5 can do if you're really creative with it. It can make it look like, hey, they are straight playing coverage. They've got 7 in coverage. We've only got 3 receivers in this set. This is a run here. And then it's almost like when you see linebackers get up and like fake a blitz and then they bail out. You're doing it the opposite way. You're faking coverage to run back into your position, make a tackle because you think your defensive line can hold up against their offensive line, which I think with Hutmacher and Robinson, I think you can. I think you have a chance to bully them up front a little bit. Once they catch on to that, probably going to have to do the opposite. You're probably going to have to heavy the box and bail to coverage. Right? I mean, now we've got, make it look like we got 6 in the box, but as soon as they think about snapping it, I'm gone. I got to get out here and tackle fast as I can go. So that's how I would go at it defensively. And again, build on the day you had tackling. Build on that day. I would start guys as far as like I would start guys in a drill. Like if we're going to like really get into coaching mode, I would start guys at a disadvantage, meaning I have a guy carrying the ball. T-Rob suspended for first half. Oh, yeah, that's right. Good one. Forgot about that. My bad, Walter. I would start a guy running the ball here, and then my first defender is here. Okay? So now I'm in a chase position, but then I'd have a help defender over here forcing him to me, right? So now I know I can never give up. I just have to pursue and pursue and pursue, run as fast as I can, and help however I can. Yeah, he is. Robinson's out for the first half. I forgot. That was the I thought it was just the rest of that game. So that's on me. Again, don't know the rules. But repping all kinds of creative tackling drills. Now I'm going to put you in an advantage. Okay? You're in an advantage now. Now you're here and the ball carrier's here. So now you got to work him out of bounds. Don't go for the head fake because your help is coming from the inside. Stay a half of a body behind. So if I want to work him out of bounds, I keep my right leg in the middle of his crotch, and I keep ushering him out to where he makes to where he makes the point, like he's got to go out of bounds. If he cuts back, he's going to cut back into me. Like all that stuff have to be on point. Got to know where your help is to tackle all the time. Got to know, hey, down in distance. Like, I can't take this shot here. I just want to make the tackle. Good breaks on the ball. Because Sanders, listen, you don't have to like the dad. You got to be impressed with the kid. That kid had the ball out on time. And if I'm a betting man, I did good this week so far. He's run this system since he was probably 5. I think that's how the progression goes. Deion started coaching, and they just coached him at every level, and he just walked it through. So him making a mistake or not having the ball out, you're going to really have to say something confusing to him or show him something he doesn't know. And he's seen a lot. If you can limit the huge play, right? I don't even know what to call them now. We used to call them explosive plays. There's some new catchy buzzword for it. If you could eliminate that, if you could limit that, now I think you're ahead of the game. I think you got a good chance to get some things done because you can take them into the grindhouse. On the offensive side of the ball for Nebraska, patience is going to be huge. Realizing that 4 + 4 + 3 = 1, you're good. And that clock just bleeds because the fast guys on the sidelines can't be fast on the field if you have the ball. So time of possession has become a stat that everybody's kind of poo-pooed of late. Time of possession doesn't matter anymore. Quick scoring offense. Blah, 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 blah. This game, it matters a lot. If you can stay inside yourself, and this is hard for offensive coordinators, right? You know my feelings on all of them. They got to show you how huge their brain is. They live for that article in the paper. Oh my God, this call of double reverse pass, throw back to the tight end lateral, throw back to the tackle lateral that scored was so awesome. What a brain came up with that. You lost 56-8. Like you lost. Your 2-point conversion was sweet to get you within 6 scores, but it doesn't matter. If you're not that offensive coordinator and you realize that you possessing the ball keeps the primetime show on the sideline, bet. You ain't got to worry about covering Hunter if he's on the sidelines. You got to worry about him playing defense. So don't throw it toward him. Don't look and stare at the guy that he's covering and be like, I'm throwing it there. Can't do that. But be content with just matriculating the ball down the field. Just walk it down there. They will get tired because they don't have very many guys that are those kind of guys. They don't have the big, powerful defensive linemen yet. They will have them. But just walk it. Run it. Sims run it. Gabe Irvin run it. Grant run it. High and tight. Always 5 points of pressure. Make your cuts that way. You can do that. Now when they have to alter their defense and they have to change the way they want to play, they have a luxury, okay? They have 2 5-star corners, and you know I'm not a star guy, but those 2 dudes are as advertised. They sign off on those star rankings. They have a safety that I believe is very good. So their luxury is in coverage. They can just straight up say, you ain't got anybody that can run past anybody we got. So get ready for press man. Meaning I'm going to be up in your business the whole game. You want to get into a multiple receiver formation, even better. Because I think my outside linebackers can run with you too. If not, I'm just going to roll my safety down. We're playing man everywhere. That box is going to stay full from tackle to tackle all game. There's going to be 7 to 8 in there. And I want to see if your linemen have learned to move their feet and they're better. I want to see if they know what they're doing. I got to see it with my own eyes. You got to prove it to me they can do it. Okay? And if you can do it, now they got to alter. Now they got to change how they want to play. And once you get that, and then you get the outside backers to kind of suck in, now you sneak your tight end out in the flat and you run the man coverage off. How many of you guys remember, like, back in the day when Nebraska, like late 80s, early 90s, we'd be playing somebody and you just see a receiver streaking down the field and we'd be in good coverage spot, but they would be running the ball behind him and we had no idea? That's not that guy's responsibility. He's playing man coverage. He's thinking you're throwing the ball to him. So he's like, I got to run with this dude for all I got. Make Colorado do that. Make him just take off down the field. You're impressed, man. You got to cover me. If you don't, I don't want to throw it, but we might have to just chuck one just for the hell of it. But now you've cleared out a different area where you can just send a body out there. You can send a tight end. Run your mesh concepts. Run 2 guys crossing across the field. Get the defender in a chase position. Kemp has the quickness to do this. I was real disappointed they didn't have anything to get him the football. I really like how he plays. If you run him on a crossing route and you get him to him in space, is he going to take it to the house? Probably not. But is he going to get you positive yards? And then it looks different than a throw or than a run. Yeah, perfect. But you still have control of the ball. Like if time of possession, if Nebraska can somehow get a 2-1 time of possession, I know that sounds crazy. That'd be awesome. And I think the more you can extend the distance in the time of possession, your probability of winning, and I know this used to be the way everybody thought about it. I control the ball, I control the game. Now it's like, oh, their offense can score in 30 seconds. Doesn't matter. In this game for Nebraska, it does. I think every minute you extend that and the difference of time of possession, you increase your your odds of winning increase probably 5%. Keep it away. You're literally going to play a game of keep away. Special teams, when you get your opportunity. Kickers, I think I caught that fly. Kickers, when you have a job, and if it is like the old school, this might be an old school game, coffin corner kick. I need you to punt this ball so it goes out of bounds inside the 20. That's your job. You don't really do a whole bunch of practice. I'm going to set a trash can down to 15. If you can just kick that thing into the bucket, and we're going to throw stuff at you, we're going to run guys at you so you panic. If you just put it down that corner, and then you're going to kick to this corner the next day. Kickoff guy. Whatever it takes for you to get the ball into the end zone where we eliminate them having to do anything, if you got to double butt cheek that thing to get it there, do it. We don't want them running free in space. It's a tip of the cap to your speed and the guys that you were able to have transfer in. We can't have this phase be a reason it goes awry. Alvano, who shout out to that kid going in and winning that field goal job as a freshman, killed it. Winning that job as a freshman, you've had the pressure of a 50-yarder in a state championship game that you didn't even bat an eye at. You can't miss. If we get you to a point where we get a field goal, can't miss. Get your Weirdo Wednesday or Wizard Wednesday, whatever they do at Westside. If you got to do one of those, do one of those. Just kick the ball through the uprights. Okay? Because special teams is in a unique spot in this game. Probably this game more than any. They can go win you that game. Go back and we'll relive the glory days together. Go watch Darren Erstad win the 94 Orange Bowl. Does not get enough credit for everything he did in that game. Look at Miami's average starting field position in that game. Stad was there. He had that thing on lock. I think their average starting field goal or field position was inside the 20. We punted in that game quite a bit. He did a great job. And it's just awesome because he's always pissed. He's one of my favorite people ever. Just put that guy in a competition, just get out of the way. And be on his team because you're going to win. It's just great. But that's how I would kind of assess it. You can tip your cap. You can pay respect. Yeah, you're fast. You went down and beat TCU. Not going to make excuses, just going to state facts. They didn't have their Heisman finalist quarterback, center, a couple of defensive guys. Like, they graduated people. You went down there and won. You did it. Good job. Proud of you. But now we got to change our brain. And we look at our Minnesota game and say, okay, did they win that or did we give that to them? Probably gave it to them in certain aspects. They accomplished the goal. They did what they're supposed to. They did what they're taught to do. They won the game. But did you leave it in the hands of the officials to garner if that was a touchdown or not? Right before half. Elbow touched the ground, ball across the goal line. Don't know how they didn't call that, but not my pig, not my farm. The way you eliminate it being in the referee's hands is you block better. And then moves aren't having to be made at the line of scrimmage. That move gets made past the line of scrimmage. That yard means another yard down the field. Now you're in the end zone. Right? Everything you need to fix to win this next game is in your control. Can you go and work harder? Probably what I would do is I would take my freshman defensive or freshman linebackers and I would put them in a defensive line. And I would just slant and twist them everywhere. I'd move them all the way. So we know we got these short controlled steps. Then I'd bring the big guys in. And start pounding. So you get both sides of it, right? You get all the work of it. But that's through practice, through an efficient, awesome week of practice. You go out to Colorado and shock the world. That's the position you're in now. That's where you're at. You've proven you still have the old habits. Michaela Ripley in the house. Early for work, that a girl. You've proven your old habits still linger with you. Eliminate the misnomer. Eliminate the misnomer that your quarterback has to be your leader. If it's Scott, if it's Corcoran, if it's Benhart, somebody take the reins of the ship and make sure in practice that if it isn't up to standard, that you're the one correcting the standard. Because what you've seen a little bit in that Minnesota game, you just like to see a player get in there and light somebody up. The staff coaches in an intense manner. No part of that staff is going, well, I'd take Campbell out there. But no part of that staff is going out to play in the game. Okay? No part of that staff is going to put, this is in your hands. This is what happens at like the youth level. Coach wants to stand out there and tell the boys, get them fired up, blah, blah, blah. The boy becomes a robot then. He thinks that guy's going to be there my whole life, and he's going to be standing behind my huddle, and he's going to tell me what to do. And then I'm going to go do it. And they never think on their own. And they never lead on their own. And they never do what it takes to win on their own. Because coach is always standing there behind me. Coach's job is to educate you, put you in a position to go succeed. How you go do that is up to you. The players of that organization have to take control of this thing. They have to have a standard higher than they expect of themselves. We have the discussion here all the time. And God bless all the parents that allow me to work with their young men and women, okay? Because this is their expectation of themselves. This is my expectation of them. And somewhere in the middle we'll meet. But if I don't feel you're trying to exceed your expectation, then I just look at you. And I say, if you're good at being half-assed at shit, cool. I'll treat you in a half-assed manner. It's very simple. But if you show me you're above and beyond, the monies will come. Raises, $100 here, $100 there. Go get your work done. No. Don't come ask me. We've discussed this. You know what you're doing. I trust you. Go do it. And when you can get them to believe that and they take that, then, and this is just my advice in the business, then they start to own it. Then I don't have to put out as many fires as I once did. Hey, Vers, we did this. Great. Sounds good. How'd it go? We think it went great. Okay. Why do we think it went great? Well, we got all this stuff done. I was like, that is awesome. Let's make it a process. Okay, great. Go fix your guys or your gals. You got to empower the kid to go. You can't. And I'm not saying these guys do, but for what they had to get him to, they had to be that way. Now they just got to pass the torch. Somebody on the field has to lead. I thought the Bullet kid on defense did a great job of it. Here, get here. We got to bid this. Let's go. But offense, they get in that tight-ass huddle, reading off the card thing. Here's another thing. The quarterback ain't got to call the plays. I've been in part of teams where the receiver calls the plays. Because some guys get caught up in jargon. It's okay. There's nothing against you. Maybe by the end of the year, you'll be better at it. It's cool. All right, boys, here we go. Trips left open. Run it. They got to take ownership of that themselves. That's the next step. Because now, when you jump offside, somebody's going to be in your ass, chewing it. Apologies for me missing the Robinson is suspended for the first half. Appreciate you guys reminding me. A couple ones here as we wrap it up. John says, yes or no, with the fullback and our running backs, we should run the ball up the egg gap until they fold. Sorry if this was asked on the internet. I was out in Wahoo. Yep, we cover, bud. This is a great game to establish your fullback and get him confidence and make it a physical day. Make it a physical game. Greg also asked, do you think we need to get more athletes like Harburg on the field? Anytime you get more athletes on the field, I am pro that. Him being also a quarterback, you can enter, we have no problem running the most ugly, beautiful trick play of all time. So, I mean, that thing happened, and I was like, what? And it was, I was like, what in the mother F word are we doing? As it's bouncing on the ground. Thank you, football gods, for that great bounce up into Sim's hands. Dear Lord, baby Jesus, swaddling clothes in a manger. I appreciate you. I thought about going to church for about 5 minutes just to say thank you. Then I got over it. And then chucking it downfield to the wide open guy. Now, here's the other deal. We ain't done jack squat the whole game. I mean, them your first 7.6 points of the ball game. You couldn't run basic offense to get down the field and score. You ran a pitch, throwback, Minnesota falls asleep, chuck it in the end zone, the guy standing wide open, bobbled around, and then you bow. Like you thought, like you did I'm awesome. Like, what are we doing? Know the room.
I think that play was called the Tom Osborne. I think that's what I heard.
I get it.
So that's why the ball bounced so nicely. That's why I had a little bit extra on it. Yeah.
Oh, listen, I got all pissed off.
No, I'm not mad.
No, I'm just kidding.
I looked away though. I thought that play was done.
Oh,
I thought it was done.
But like, how about just run down, celebrate with the guy? It was the best ball you threw of the day, and it was to a guy standing like wide open by himself. Nah, I take that back. You threw a couple good ones. You zipped a couple in there. But it's just like, what? And now, don't get me wrong. You start to truck that thing down the field against Colorado, and you walk it, and you control the ball in time of possession, you bow at the end all you want. You bow every touchdown. After the third one, get 3. See how bad they want to hit. See if they're about that life. Maybe you find out you're about that life. Yeah, get all that. Yeah, you got 400 yards passing, and that's how you put the cherry on top of the day. You do a round off back handspring off the field for all I care. But you run it, make 3 people miss. Go. Awesome. But, well, we got one in the books. For those of you that are religious, do a few of these, do these things. So we don't make the same silly mistakes that we used to make. And let's go out and shock the world. What do you say? That Lion's going to move to Colorado favored by a whole bunch. Take it personal. Go out and play a physical game of football. Control the football. Group tackling. Understanding where you're at. Know where your help is. And win the special teams. That's how you beat Colorado. And hopefully we can do that next week. But we will be back here next week. We're going to put a post up on the Twitter page for a game, a Sunday that you guys want to come down. And we'll do breakfast pizza. And we'll make some Bloody Marys and all that kind of stuff. We'll let you guys vote one that works for you. And all 3 of you can come down. We'll all sit here together and do a Husker Hangover Live. Thank you guys so much for joining us. It's always a pleasure. Love the therapy session. I appreciate you. I need you more in my life than you will ever know. I hope you have a fantastic holiday weekend. Be safe. Drink a couple beers for me. Husker Hangover, episode 1. We out.